Break one, and you're out. Break the wrong one, and you're dead. From the Hells Angels to the Mongols, every 1%er club operates on the same principle. The club comes first, always. And these rules are enforced without exception. We're breaking down the most sacred and most dangerous rules in outlaw motorcycle club culture. The ones that can cost you your patch, your brothers, or your life. And by the end, you'll understand why these clubs have survived for over 70 years. Let's start with the rule that keeps every club from tearing itself apart. Rule 1. Code of silence. In the biker world, the worst crime is being a rat, and the punishment is final. The code of silence isn't a guideline. It's the club's backbone. No statements, no testimony, no admitting you saw anything. These gangs traffic drugs, trade weapons, shake down neighborhoods. None of it survives without absolute trust that no one will talk. One informant can collapse a chapter. One tape can send dozens to prison. Talk comes with a price. The Hells Angels warn, snitches get stitches. In practice, informants vanish bodies in deserts, cars abandoned on lonely highways. Sometimes, nothing at all. Look at Anthony Benish in 1973. He cooperated in a murder probe. Weeks later, he was found beaten and shot. No one was charged, but the message was clear. Or Roger Pinney of the Mongols. Arrested in 2005, he wore a wire for the ATF during Operation Black Rain. When the club learned, Pinney disappeared. His car turned up near the California-Arizona line. His body never was. When you break the code, you're not just expelled, you're marked. Every chapter sees you as a target. The club won't bail you out, hire a lawyer, or defend you. You take your sentence and keep quiet, or you pay a much worse price. Silence keeps the rest of the rules working. Break it, and nothing else matters. Next rule. Rule 2. Absolute loyalty to the club. In the outlaw world, loyalty isn't optional, it's survival. Your club is your family. Your brothers come before everything. Blood, work, even your own safety. When the club calls, you answer. No excuses, no hesitation. This isn't friendship, it's protection. Rival gangs, cops, and traitors are constant threats. The only shield you have is the loyalty of the men beside you. If a brother needs help, you show up. If he's in a fight, you fight. If he's killed, you avenge him. That's the code. No debates, no backing down. The Hells Angels say it best. When we do right, nobody remembers. When we do wrong, nobody forgets. Every move you make reflects on the patch. Your loyalty isn't to yourself, it's to that symbol. The Comancheros take it further. Always Comanchero always. There's no quitting, no retirement. Once you wear the colors, you belong to the club for life. That loyalty is tested every day. If a member brawls with 5 men in a bar, you jump in even if he started it. If someone's arrested, you chip in for his lawyer. Even if you can't afford rent, the club comes first, always. And when orders come down, you follow them. Legal or not, refusing means you're weak, disloyal, and disloyalty doesn't get forgiven. In return, the club protects its own. If you're locked up, they look after your family. If you're threatened, they step in. But that protection only lasts as long as your loyalty does. The moment you hesitate, you're finished. Once the club turns its back, you're alone. And that's why the next rule cuts even deeper. Rule 3. No cops, no snitches, no child abusers. Some people can never be part of the club. Ever, no exceptions. Outlaw motorcycle clubs have standards. And while those standards might seem hypocritical to outsiders, they're taken deadly seriously by members. The first rule is simple. No cops, no police officers, no federal agents, no corrections staff. Even ex-cops are banned. To the club, law enforcement is the enemy. They arrest, spy, and destroy. Letting one in would be suicide. This rule extends to family members too. If your brother is a cop, if your father is a DEA agent, if your cousin is a U.S. Marshal, many clubs will reject you. The risk of information leaking is too high. Second rule, no snitches. If you've ever cooperated with law enforcement in any capacity, you're out. It doesn't matter if it was 20 years ago. It doesn't matter if you only gave a minor statement. Once a rat, always a rat. Third rule, no child abusers or molesters. This one surprises people, but it's enforced brutally. Outlaw bikers might break a lot of laws, but hurting kids is considered the lowest, most unforgivable act. The Hells Angels have been known to beat suspected child molesters within an inch of their lives and throw them out of the club. In some cases, they've killed them. There's no trial, no investigation, just immediate, violent justice. Why does this rule exist? Some say it's about maintaining a code of honor. Others say it's practical. Child abusers draw too much law enforcement attention, and their crimes are universally hated, even in prison. Whatever the reason, the rule is absolute. These exclusions exist to keep the club pure, to ensure that everyone who wears the patch shares the same values, the same enemies, and the same code. Rule 4. Member for life. You don't retire from a 1%er club. You don't resign. You're in until you die or until the club kicks you out. And getting kicked out isn't something you want. This rule exists for one simple reason: security. If members could just leave whenever they wanted, they'd take secrets with them. They'd know about crimes, drug routes, and club weaknesses. And if they got arrested later, they might talk. So the rule is simple. Once you're patched in, you're a member for life. What does that mean? It means even if you move to another state, you're still expected to check in with the local chapter. If you get married and have kids, the club still comes first. Even if you're 60 years old and can barely ride anymore, you're still a member. Some clubs allow inactive status for older members who can't physically participate anymore. But even then, you still wear the patch. You still attend meetings when possible. You're still bound by the rules. And if you try to quit, the club will demand you return your patch, your vest, your motorcycle if it has club insignia, everything. And depending on how you try to leave, they might demand more. There are stories of members who tried to quit being beaten, having their bikes destroyed, or being run out of town. In extreme cases, members who left and later cooperated with the police were killed. The member for life rule is a trap. The club wants members who are all in, no half measures, no exit strategies. But being a member for life means understanding the hierarchy. And that hierarchy is enforced through the next rule. Rule 5. Absolute loyalty to leadership. Every outlaw club runs on a strict chain of command. At the top sits the president, followed by the vice president, sergeant-at-arms, road captain, secretary, treasurer, and finally, the regular members. Every position has a purpose. Every man has a duty. And in this world, orders aren't suggestions, they're law. The president makes all major decisions. Where the club rides, who gets patched in, how the club handles conflicts with rivals, what criminal activities does the club engage in. Everything goes through him. And when the president speaks, you listen. You don't interrupt, you don't argue, you certainly don't challenge his authority in front of other members. The Comancheros MC takes this even further with their 10 commandments, which explicitly state that leadership's word is law. Disobeying a direct order from a superior can result in being stripped of your patch or worse. Why is this rule so strict? Because in a world where violence can erupt at any moment, the club needs to act as one unit. If members constantly question orders or refuse to follow commands, the club falls apart. Rival gangs exploit that weakness. Law enforcement infiltrates. The club dies. But even the president has to follow one rule that every member holds sacred. Rule 6. The patch is sacred. Your vest and the patches sewn onto it are more than clothing. They're symbols of your identity, your loyalty, and your earned place in the club. And disrespecting them is one of the worst things you can do. The colors refer to the patches on your vest. The top rocker shows the club name. The center patch shows the club logo. The bottom rocker shows your territory. Together, they represent everything the club stands for. And there are rules about how you handle them. First, never let your vest touch the ground. If it falls, you pick it up immediately. Letting it sit in the dirt is seen as disrespecting the club. Second, never let anyone else wear your vest. It's yours and yours alone. Letting someone else put it on, even as a joke, is a serious violation. Third, never wash your vest in a washing machine. Hand wash only. This rule sounds strange, but it's about respect. The vest is sacred, and you treat it with care. Fourth, never sell your vest. If you somehow leave the club, which remember you're not supposed to do, you return the vest. You don't keep it as a souvenir. You don't sell it on eBay. You give it back. And fifth, never let an outsider touch your patches. Non-members are not allowed to touch, adjust, or even point at your patches. It's considered one of the most disrespectful things you can do. Why are these rules so strict? Because the patches are earned. Getting patched in requires months or years of proving yourself as a prospect. You're hazed, tested, and humiliated. And when you finally earn that patch, it represents everything you've sacrificed. So when someone disrespects your colors, they're disrespecting your sacrifice. And that's not tolerated. There are countless stories of bar fights starting because someone touched a biker's vest, or because someone made a joke about the patch. The response is immediate and violent. The Hells Angels even trademark their logo to prevent counterfeit merchandise. They've sued companies and individuals for using their death head symbol without permission. The patch is that important. But wearing the patch comes with responsibilities, and one of those is showing up. Rule 7. Attend every meeting. If there's a club meeting, you're expected to be there. Not try to make it. Not if you're free. You're there, period. Meetings are where club business happens. Votes on new members, decisions about conflicts with rival gangs, planning for rides and events, discussions about money and legal issues. If you're not there, you don't have a say. And worse, your absence is noticed. Missing a meeting without a valid excuse is considered disrespectful. It suggests the club isn't important to you. And if you miss multiple meetings, the club will assume you're not committed. So what counts as a valid excuse? Hospitalization, incarceration, death in the family, maybe. Everything else, you'd better have a damn good reason. And when you're at a meeting, there are rules about how you behave. First, you don't speak unless spoken to. If you're a regular member, you listen. You don't interrupt officers. You don't challenge the president. You sit quietly and pay attention. Second, you vote when told to vote. Decisions are often made democratically, but once the vote is done, everyone follows the decision. No complaining, no second guessing. Third, what happens in the meeting stays in the meeting. You don't go home and tell your girlfriend or wife about club business. You don't post about it on social media. You keep your mouth shut. Why are meetings so important? Because they're where loyalty is reinforced. Seeing your brothers face to face, hearing the president's orders directly, participating in decisions. It all builds unity and trust. But meetings aren't the only thing you're required to attend. Rule 8. Ride in formation. When the club rides together, there's a specific order. And breaking that order is disrespectful and dangerous. The president rides first, always. He's at the front of the pack, leading the way. Behind him is the vice president or road captain. Then come senior members, ranked by seniority. Prospects ride at the back, behind everyone else. This formation isn't just tradition. It's practical. The president needs to see the road ahead and make decisions. The senior members need to be close to leadership in case something happens. And prospects are in the back because they're the least experienced and most expendable. But the formation is also symbolic. It shows the hierarchy. It reminds everyone of their place in the club. And it reinforces the idea that the club moves as one unit. Breaking formation is a serious offense. If you're supposed to be in the middle but you ride ahead of senior members, you're showing disrespect. If you're a prospect and you try to ride near the front, you'll be disciplined immediately. And if the club stops for any reason, whether it's a red light, a gas station, or a confrontation with rivals, you maintain your position. You don't wander off. You don't break ranks. You stay with your brothers. This rule also applies to how you ride. If the president rides at 70 mph, you ride at 70 mph. If he takes a specific route, you follow. You don't freelance. You don't decide you know a better way. You follow the leader. But there's one rule about riding that's even more fundamental. Rule 9. Harley-Davidson only. In most one-percenter clubs, if you don't ride a Harley, you don't ride with the club. Period. This rule is deeply rooted in biker culture. Harley-Davidson is the quintessential American motorcycle. It's loud, powerful, and rebellious. Especially foreign bikes like Hondas, Kawasaki's, or BMW's is seen as disrespectful to the club's identity. The Hells Angels have been associated with Harley-Davidson since their founding in 1948. For decades, riding a Harley was a requirement. If you showed up on a Japanese bike, you weren't getting in. Some clubs have relaxed this rule slightly in recent years. A few allow American-made bikes like Indian or Victory. But even then, it's case by case. And foreign bikes? Still a hard no in most clubs. Why is this rule so strict? Because the bike you ride says something about who you are. Riding a Harley shows you respect tradition. It shows you value American engineering. And it shows you're willing to invest in something that matters to the club. Harleys are also loud. And 1%er clubs love loud bikes. It's part of their identity. The roar of a dozen Harleys rolling through town announces their presence. It's intimidating. It's impossible to ignore. But the Harley rule is also about exclusivity. Not everyone can afford a Harley. They're expensive, often costing $20,000 or more. By requiring members to own one, clubs filter out people who aren't serious. If you can't afford a Harley, you probably can't afford the lifestyle. And if you're in the club and your Harley breaks down, you fix it. You don't switch to a Honda just for now. You borrow money, you work overtime, you do whatever it takes to keep riding your Harley. Because the bike isn't just transportation, it's part of your identity as a 1%er. But owning the right bike is just the start. You also have to look the part. Rule 10. Dress code. There's a specific look that 1%er bikers maintain, and deviating from it is not acceptable. Leather vest with patches. That's the most important piece. It's not optional. It's your uniform. Black leather jacket or jeans. Most bikers wear black because it's practical, hides grease and dirt, and because it's part of the image. Boots, not sneakers, not sandals. Boots, preferably heavy steel-toed boots that can handle a fight or a crash. Bandanas or beanies. Many bikers wear bandanas under their helmets or beanies when they're not riding. Sunglasses or goggles. Protecting your eyes while riding is important, but it's also about looking intimidating. And here's an important rule. When you're around other bikers, especially in a clubhouse or at a meeting, you take off your sunglasses and gloves. Why? Because it's a sign of respect. You're showing your face, you're not hiding. The dress code serves multiple purposes. First, it creates a unified image. When the club rides into a town, people see a group of bikers dressed the same way, and it's intimidating. It shows unity and strength. Second, it separates members from civilians. When you wear the vest and the boots, you're marking yourself as a 1%er. You're saying, I'm not like you, I'm part of something else. Third, it's practical. Leather protects you in a crash. Boots protect your feet. Gloves protect your hands. The dress code isn't just about looking tough. It's about surviving the lifestyle. But there's one piece of the dress code that's more important than anything else. Rule 11. Never touch another biker's patch. This is one of the fastest ways to start a fight. You do not touch another biker's vest or patches, ever. In biker culture, the patch is sacred. It represents the club, the members' loyalty, and everything they've sacrificed to earn it. Touching it without permission is a profound act of disrespect. If you're not a biker and you touch someone's vest, even accidentally, you'll get a warning. Maybe a shove, maybe a punch. Depends on the biker's mood. But if you're a biker from a rival club and you touch another club's patch, that's an act of war. Fights have started. People have been hospitalized. Shootings have occurred. The rule extends to asking about patches too. You don't ask a biker what their patch means unless you're invited to ask. Outsiders especially should never ask. It's considered prying into club business. And if you see a patch on the ground, you don't pick it up. You tell the nearest biker so they can retrieve it. Picking it up yourself, even to return it, is crossing a line. This rule is about respect and boundaries. The patch is personal. It's earned. And it's not for anyone else to touch, admire up close, or question. But respecting patches also means understanding what they represent. And that brings us to the next rule. Rule 12. Territory patches mean ownership. If a club's bottom rocker says California, or Australia, or Texas, it means they're claiming that territory. And if you're from another club, you need permission to ride there. Territory is everything in the biker world. Clubs claim states, provinces, or entire countries, and that claim is backed up by violence if necessary. Let's say a member of a small club in Nevada wants to ride through California. If the Hells Angels claim California, you need to ask permission. You contact their chapter, explain your route, and request safe passage. If they approve, you ride through. If they don't, you find another route. Ignoring territory rules is a declaration of disrespect. It says you don't recognize the club's authority, and that's how wars start. The Mongols and Hells Angels have been at war for decades, partly because of territory disputes. Both clubs operate in California. Territory patches also serve a practical purpose. They tell rival clubs where you're from. If you're wearing a Texas rocker and you're in California, other clubs know you're out of your home territory. That makes you vulnerable, so most bikers avoid riding alone in rival territory. Some clubs, like the Hells Angels, claim entire countries. Their patches say Hells Angels Motorcycle Club at the top and California, New York, or England at the bottom. That's a big claim, and it's enforced aggressively, but not all bikers belong to clubs. Some ride alone, and there's a rule for them too. Rule 13. Lone wolf, no club. If you ride alone, without a club, you're called a lone wolf. And while 1%er clubs respect lone wolves, they also keep them at a distance. A lone wolf can't wear a club patch. They can't claim territory. They can't participate in club activities. They're independent, and that independence means they're outside the protection and the rules of club life. Most lone wolves ride for personal freedom. They don't want the obligations of a club. They don't want to attend meetings, follow orders, or get involved in club conflicts. And 1%er clubs generally leave them alone. As long as a lone wolf doesn't disrespect a club, doesn't wear unauthorized patches, and doesn't interfere with club business, they're tolerated. But there's a line. If a lone wolf starts acting like they're part of a club, wearing patches that imply membership or claiming territory, clubs will shut them down. The rule is simple. Ride alone if you want, but respect the clubs. Don't pretend to be something you're not, and don't step on toes. Lone wolves also can't use certain patches. The 1% patch, for example, is reserved for members of 1%er clubs. Wearing it without being in a club is considered stolen valor in the biker world. But whether you're a lone wolf or a club member, there's one rule everyone follows. Rule 14. Honor the bike. At the end of the day, this lifestyle is about riding. The motorcycle is the center of everything, and if you're not riding, you're not living the life. 1%er clubs value action over talk. They value time on the road over time in meetings, and they value the brotherhood that comes from riding together. There's a saying in biker culture, ride more, politics less. It's a reminder that the reason clubs exist is to ride. Not to argue, not to scheme, to ride. This rule keeps clubs grounded because it's easy for clubs to get caught up in internal conflicts, power struggles, and territorial disputes. But at the end of the day, if you're not riding your bike, what's the point? Honoring the bike also means maintaining it. You don't let your Harley fall apart. You keep it clean, tuned, and ready to ride. A broken down bike is a sign of disrespect to yourself and to the club. And when you ride with pride. You don't slouch, you don't ride timidly, you own the road. This rule is a reminder of why people join motorcycle clubs in the first place. It's not about crime, it's not about violence, it's about freedom. The freedom to ride wherever you want, with your brothers by your side. And that freedom comes with responsibility. Which brings us to the final rule. Rule 15. No rider left behind. If a brother goes down, you stop. If a brother's bike breaks, you help. If a brother is in danger, you protect him. No one gets left behind. This is the most fundamental rule in biker culture, because on the road, anything can happen. Crashes, breakdowns, confrontations with rival gangs, cops, And when something goes wrong, you need to know your brothers have your back. The no rider left behind rule is tested constantly. Say the club is riding through a remote area and one member's bike breaks down. The entire club stops. They don't leave him to figure it out. They help him fix it, or they call for a tow, or they give him a ride, but they don't leave. Or say a brother crashes. Everyone stops immediately. They check if he's okay. They call for help if needed. And if rival gangs or cops show up, the club protects him. This rule is why club loyalty is so strong. Because when you're out on the road, far from home, your brothers are the only people you can count on. And knowing they'll never abandon you creates a bond that's hard to break. It's also a rule that applies beyond the road. If a brother is struggling financially, the club helps. If a brother's in legal trouble, the club supports him. If a brother's family needs something, the club steps in. This is what one for all for one, really means. It's not just a slogan, it's a lived reality. Your brothers are your family, and family doesn't abandon each other. These rules keep outlaw clubs alive, brutal, strict, and final. Break them, and you lose your patch or your life. That's the 1%er life. Could you live by it? Because this code doesn't just shape men, it starts wars. Click on the next video to see what happens when loyalty and revenge collide in Europe's deadliest biker war.